But you know, how do you find work in such a field? In the Netherlands at least, the labor market has become very competitive, and especially in academia. I mean, you graduate and there is, you know, you have very little chances of finding a job as a teacher in the university. The only way to gain entrance to this, to academia, is to submit research proposals and hope that they will be granted and accepted for funding. So in 2002 I submitted a research proposal to do this research on Holland, and thank God it was accepted and I received funding which allowed me to work on this subject for 4 years, including a really nice salary and 1.5 years of field work in Cairo. So I visited courts, spoke to lawyers, to judges, to litigants, etc. and did, you know, the work where I received the money for. It was great. I was lucky because of all these people who submit proposals, only 5% gets accepted. But then the 4 years were over. And then what? Apply for additional funding, which is even more competitive. No tenure-track jobs in teaching, so yes, you have no other choice. And I was lucky to get funding to work in London for a year at the School of Oriental and African Studies. When do they accept your research proposals? When you have a good publication list. So if you aspire a career in academia, make sure you publish. Make sure you write a lot of articles in academic journals, peer-reviewed journals, and try to publish books. I tried to do so. It was hard work, but it paid off in the end. In the meantime, I mean, writing articles, writing books, and doing research can take up quite a bit of time. I also got married and we bought a house. I don't know if you know the Netherlands a bit, but we have really nice houses in the Netherlands, these old historical houses in Amsterdam, in Leiden, and they look great from the outside, but from the inside they are very old. So you have to renovate them, so you basically buy 4 walls and a roof. So we did that too. We renovated the house completely. We also had 4 babies between 2006 and 2013, so it was a busy and hectic life. And in the meantime, the job in London had expired, so I was looking for work again. I wrote a few research proposals, I published, and I was really lucky to get another one. And that's the one which gave me the opportunity to be here. Yeah? I think if there is something that I have learned in the past few years, I think it's if you want to succeed in something, you have to do something which you really like, which you're really passionate about. Poor. After all, they are poor in every field, wherever you work. And I think the second thing is to work hard. To really work hard and to be focused, not to try to do too many things, but really the things that take you to where you want to be. And you also need help of other people.
Success, and so on. So this is just to tell you that success is about the way you frame. Please remember this word. It's a big course module that they teach in most of the prestigious universities in the world. The way framing and taking decisions. Framing and taking decisions. The way you frame things, the way you look at things, the way you make things talk to you. And of course, the consequence is the way you will take your decisions. So if you're young, the way you frame things are of course different than if you're a little bit more experienced. So the challenge is that you frame things the best possible way before it's too late, in order for you to be somehow special, have your own specificity, and make a different choice. Many of us take their decisions according to the feelings. Others take their decisions according to the logic, to the thinking process. No one is right, no one is completely wrong. But this has a consequence on the way you will achieve, you will reach your goals. If your personality is more open, means you're in interaction with people, you have less time to spend with yourself. And if you have less time to spend with yourself, it means that you have less time to think of your future, to plan your future. If your personality is more oriented to the action, you have less time to spend on the reflection, and vice versa, of course. So this kind of very basic concepts are things I've been reading about for ages now. And taking into consideration and taking my own decisions. When I graduated from school, and I did just like you, a 100% broken school, it was an engineering school, I had to make a choice on what my career would resemble to. Actually, it was before I graduated, when selecting and working on the internship. So most of my friends went into technical internships. I did telecom, which is a big thing, of course. And I could have done the same. But I chose to work on reframing an organization and on managerial aspects of telecoms, working on competitiveness of the firm for which I had the internship, and looking at the way this firm can enhance its competitiveness, the cost structure, the way they make their products and offerings. And this gave me a tremendous rich experience that I used later on. When I started my professional career, I never waited for people to offer me the positions. Because people do not offer you the positions. You need to take them. This doesn't mean that you need to be aggressive, no. You need to take them, but you need to work to earn them. Let's use the word, you need to earn them. Of course, life is not easy, because we are in a society where not everyone believes in youth. Not everyone believes in competence. So it's normal that many of the people you will meet in your professional path or career will not believe in you. They will want you to do things the way they want them to be done. They're maybe not wrong, but they're not completely right. Because if you spend your time doing things just the way the others want you to do, where is your own contribution? So one needs to develop his own contribution. But to do so, you need to be brilliant. You need to read a lot. You need to be multidisciplinary in your readings. Because the product you'll be selling if you work for a private company, or the service you'll be providing if you work for a public administration, are things that you're going to offer in interaction with other people, with a territory. So you need to understand these people, this territory, much more than you understand the offerings and the technical procedures you use to produce or to think or to process these products or these services. This is why the nature of training you get here in the school is very important. The time you spend here, you need to reframe your relationship with this time. You need to rethink. Don't think that you have too much free time. It's not true. It's a non-directive time. It's not a free time. It's a time where you spend what could be your competitive advantage in the future. You're not competing against people like you. You're competing against people that are very different from you. I'll give you an example. let's say a restaurant, and a movie, a cinema, okay? The general manager of the cinema, let's say, what's the name? Do you have any cinemas here? No, but it's whatever you go in Europe, we have these problems of cinemas going down. But let's talk about something like Megahama or or something like this, okay? So let's say that the guy of the cinema wants people to come to the cinema. So if he wants to compete against other cinemas, what he will do is either enhance the quality of your sitting, the chair is more comfortable, the quality of movies, this is what cinemas do, okay? The parking maybe, this is competing against cinemas, and of course the price. But the problem is that when this guy looked into numbers and into the society in his city, he found that many of the people he could have don't come because they have children. Young couples just got married, children of 2, 3, 4 years, and they don't come because they can't come. Whereas, so his competitor is not another cinema, because if they can't come to watch a movie, they can't come to another cinema, of course. They have the same problem, the same barrier, entrance barrier to this market. Whereas, a restaurant is different. They can go at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m., let's say, 8 p.m. in Morocco, or 9 even, to the restaurant to have dinner, to chill out. They can bring their children, if they're 3, 4, 5 years old, it's okay. But they can come. So, you are not competing against cinemas, you're competing against restaurants. Because not all the others have done the same studies. الإنجليزية, you're not competing against the إنجليزية to start with Tangier or Agadir or Marrakesh. No. You're competing against engineers, against people who have done law studies, and people who come from abroad, and people who didn't do studies, and people who just have money, and people, etc., etc., etc. So the guys of the cinema decided, this was in the US, to create a cinema that can keep children. So in the offering, you have La Lulu inside. This is how they grabbed a marketing. So being different is not competing against those who are like you. It's getting a share of the market of something that is different. Your known customers, not only your customers. Is everyone familiar here with the model of strategy that is called Blue Ocean? You need to read that book. It's a must. You're in a business. You absolutely need to read that book. Okay? Try it. It's Blue Ocean strategy. Someone has to take it down. Okay? And it gives you many, many, many examples of companies who did in totally different. This could be a lecture that in your class. Because there are so many things young students can learn. And believe me, this kind of strategizing, the way you make your strategies, are very important for you to learn now. Because when you will work, you will not have time to do many things. You will want to live a little bit more, to go out a little bit more, to make your money, to spend your money, the money you'll earn. I want to say that I did things like this. I was never competing against people like me. I always wanted to work with people that are different, who are different. Because when you work with people who are different, at least you can work together. You can add your competences, or you can add your knowledge, if I may. And then you need to know your goal. There is a very important book that is called The Goal. Be implemented. And if you are going to come across, they will take you away. The fourth kind of leaders is called symbolic leaders. These leaders that inspire you, that suggest meaning to you. something that has a meaning. For instance, in Apple story, Steve Jobs was among the symbolic leaders. So you have to be very careful when you talk to someone, when you deal with someone. You need, first of all, to locate him, to position him or her into which frame he or her belongs. When you talk to a leader in the structural, you have to be structural in order for him to accept you, to receive your thoughts, your suggestions, in order for you to access to responsibility. If you talk with HR, they need to see you responsible. If you talk to political, you need to know what is the agenda of your leader in order for you to meet with his agenda, to be the closest possible. And if you have a symbolic, which is very rare, then you're lucky, because that should be someone who gives you, who inspires you. So it's important not to be mistaken. It's important to know yourself first. And you know your leaders, your managers, etc., etc., etc. This emotional intelligence, and I finish, is important in one's career and one's path. It's very important. It's really crucial to everyone's career. I will not take more time. I wish the best to all of you and hope to see you very soon. Ciao. Thank you.